Hey, hi guys, this is Bakkappa. Welcome back to Test Automation Tool Selenium. In this Selenium C Sharp NUnit tutorial, we have a high level agenda for the today is how to execute Selenium C Sharp NUnit automation script in parallel. Then we'll discuss what is order attribute. Then we'll discuss ignore attribute. Basically, in the first point, how to execute Selenium C Sharp NUnit automation script in parallel. This is with respect to parallel testing. Order attribute is nothing but giving the priority for Selenium C Sharp NUnit automation script, and ignore attribute is nothing but basically we have just consider 50 test scripts in that because of the existing defect in open status, we will be ignoring some of the test scripts from the test suite. Let us jump to the user studio. Let me create one new class here. Just I'll copy this test class. I'll rename the class name as parallel testing. Then I'll copy that class name and I need to replace the class name. That's it. Just I'll delete this inherited class name, and also I'll delete other methods as well. Okay, that's all, and I'll delete this another set of statements. So basically this will these two statements to identify the email text field and to enter something into this particular a Facebook email field. So you will use the same set of statements. Before that, I need to create one utility class. Let us create one simple folder here. So here I'm adding one simple folder, not in the solution. We need to add it in the, let me remove this. I'll add one folder to this particular project called utilities. Under that, I'll create one more class. So here I'm specifying the class name as browser utility. That's all. Just click on add. So I'll open the browser utility class. So in this particular class, just I'm specifying the class name as public. That's it. And what I will do is I will create a simple method so that returns me the browser, that opens a browser, and it will maximizes the browser, and it will enter that particular mentioned URL, and it will goes to that particular URL. So whenever I call to this particular method, so it returns me the driver object. So that's the reason I'm creating one method here, public, that is WebDriver, return type. Then I'm specifying the method name as init. So this accepts the browser object, WebDriver, and the driver. That's it. Just import the relevant classes. Just press click on that particular WebDriver and press Ctrl dot from the keyboard. So you will get set of options here. Just click on the using OpenQA.Selenium. That's it. So this particular method, whenever I call to this particular method, this is going to return me the driver object. That's all. So what I will do is, here I am creating the object of the Chrome browser by using a new operator. And I'll assign that to the WebDriver interface. By using this, I will call to the one method called URL. After launching this particular browser, we need to enter the URL. So let me copy it from the previous Selenium C# NUnit tutorial. So these statements we have, just to copy these statements. So we have already created this particular object. Let me copy this. You need to import the Chrome driver class. Just click on that Chrome driver and press Ctrl dot from the keyboard, and same way just import the OpenQA.Selenium.Chrome. That's all. So this particular 3 statement, what it does is, first line it opens the Chrome browser, then it maximizes the Chrome browser, then it enters the facebook.com. Then type of this particular method is WebDriver type. So we need to return the particular driver object. So that's the reason I'll use the return statement. Return. We need to return this particular statement, I mean the driver. That's all. So we have one class browser utility. Under that we have one method called init. Whenever I call to this particular init method, this open up Chrome browser and it maximizes and it enters this particular URL and it returns you the driver object. That's all. Let us go to the parallel testing. So what I will do is, so let me give the some group name here. Instead of smoke testing, I will give UAT testing, and I'll specify one more group name as category as module 1. So this means this particular test case belongs to the module 1. So that's the reason I'm specifying the module name as module 1. That's all. So this particular 2 lines of statements, it is going to identify the email field, text field. Then after that it is going to enter this particular value by using the send keys. So before that I need to launch the web browser, right? So just now which we have created a method, this is going to return me the browser and the entered URL. So we need to call to this particular method. So what I will do is, I'll create the object of browser utility and then I'll call to init method. So new, this is the operator. So here I'm creating the object of browser utility class. That's all. Just import the relevant the related packages. Same way, just click on this browser utility and press Ctrl dot from the keyboard. Here you can see the using Selenium C# tutorials.utilities. So basically this particular class exists under the utilities folder. If you look at here, so select this particular first line, then I'm going to call one method called init. So this particular method takes the driver object, because just now we have created this particular method which accepts the driver and it will returns you the browser driver type. So that's the reason what I will do is I'll create the what ID WebDriver interface reference variable as driver, and same driver reference variable I will pass it over here. So this particular method, it will returns as the driver object. So I need to store that driver into the one variable. So in C# we have a var that is capable of holding the any kind of values. So what I will do is I'll use a var. Here I'll specify the variable name. So this particular method returns me the driver object. So that's the reason I store that driver object into the driver by using the var. So if you're this particular keyword will be used when if you are not sure about the method which is going to return the value. Say for example, whenever we have a add method, we have a assume that we have a add method, so that returns you the addition of two numbers values. So next time when we have a add method, it may returns you the float value, double value sometimes. So in such situation, if you're not sure about the value which is going to return you, in that kind of situation you'll be using the var keyword. That's it. By using this driver object, I'll find this particular web element, that is email field. Let me open the browser. So we are identifying this particular email text field. Let me inspect it. So if you take this particular value, just click on the HTML tags and press Control F. Then here you will be seeing this particular text box. You paste that value. It is identifying the email text field. So this XPath we have wrote in the previous Selenium C# tutorial. Then we are entering some values into this particular text box. That's all. This utility opens the the Chrome browser and it maximizes it and it enters this URL. Then it will returns you the driver object. So that's all. Once we have opened the browser and we are entering some values to in web page element, then we need to close that particular browser. So that's the reason I'll use the driver object dot close. That's it. So we have only single method, that is called test method 1. This particular test method belongs to the UAT testing group and the model 1 group. So let us run it as a single test, and we'll create multiple tests, and we'll discuss how to launch multiple browsers, based on the instances which you have mentioned. Say for example, if you have a 50 test scripts, you want to launch 20 browsers at a time. If you want to run 20 scripts at a time, so that can be done. So just we'll run this particular script to make sure that if it is working fine, we will take the same test method and we'll paste it as a 10 methods, and we'll execute all the 10 test scripts at the same time. So let us clean this particular solution. Then rebuild the solution. Now here you'll be able to see that there are two groups separately, UAT testing and the model 1. So we have test method 1 and in both of the modules. Just I'll try to run the module 1 test method 1. Yes, it is launching the web browser and it is simply entering some values and it is simply closing the web browser. So let us copy this particular test method 1. Just I'm copying it and just I'm pasting it. Just a second. Okay. Here I'm going to create a same test method. I mean the same functionality as a 10 test methods. So just here I'm just renaming the test method names. Test method 2, test method 3, test method 4, test method 5, 6, then test method 7, test method 8, test method 9, test method 10. That's it. So I will delete rest of the methods. So here I have total created 10 test methods. What I'll do is just I'll clean this particular solution, clean solution. Before that we need to write at assembly level as a parallel instance to run. If say for example if I wanted to run 2 test method at a time, so let me specify that. So this is basically with respect to the parallel testing we need to specify. So what you need to do is you click on this properties. Under properties you will be seeing assembly info.cs. Click on that. You need to write here as assembly colon. Before that you need to import one statement that is called, we are using the NUnit attributes. So that's the reason here you need to using, by using statement you need to import a NUnit framework, NUnit.framework. That's it. So whatever here I'm writing these statements are comes from the NUnit framework. That's the reason I have imported NUnit.framework. So assembly colon, then you write parallelizable. Under that we need to write parallel scope dot, we need to specify it as a children. Why we need to specify it as children is we are running our test methods. Here we are treating test attributes as a children's. So basically to define test attributes, that's all. This is a one statement and we need to write one more statement so that where we can specify how many browsers we want to launch. So that's the reason here I'm just writing the comment it as number of browsers. Same way we need to write the assembly here because we are specifying at assembly level, assembly colon. One more command it will come called level of parallelism. This particular method it accepts the integer value. If you look at here it accepts the integer value. So here you need to specify how many browsers you wanted to launch at a time. So in my case I will tell 4 browsers at a time. So this is a one statement to represent the test attribute as a children's. So here this particular level of parallelism, it takes a number of instances that has to be launched. So in my case I have specified it as a 4. That's it. You need to remember these two statements if you want to run your test scripts in parallel. So let us clean this particular solution. Here you are getting one error. Let me check that. So if you are getting this error, what you need to do is go to the command prompt, type cmd here. You need to kill this particular process. So because that particular process is still running, so just type TaskKill /m f then im followed by Chrome driver.exe. So this particular command will be used for to kill that particular Chrome driver.exe. If you press, you are getting process that has been terminated successfully. Try to clean this particular solution, rebuild the same solution. If you look at here, level of parallelism is 4. That is what we have specified under this particular properties and assembly info.cs. So that is nothing but at a time 4 browsers will be opened. So we have total 13 test scripts, and at the same time it is able to launch 4 test scripts. So if you go to module 1, if you remember, we have created 10 test scripts. So here all the test methods are listed: test method 1, test method 2, test method 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Here I mean the total 10 test methods are exist under the module 1. If we look at UAT testing also, because we have grouped this particular test methods into 2 groups, UAT testing and the module 1. These test methods are belong to the UAT testing and the module 1. So I'll consider this module 1 as for execution. So what you need to do is just right click on this, run selected test. So if I run this particular test, it will launch us 4 browsers at a time. In first set it will execute first 4 test methods, and the second set it will execute next 4 methods, and it will execute next 2 methods in the third iteration. So let us execute this particular module test cases. If you look at here down, it has launched you the 4 browsers. Three test scripts got executed. Now again another 4 test cases going to execute. If you look at here, again 4 browsers got opened. So basically whenever you are doing a parallel testing, it reduces the time. Say for example, if you have it 50 test scripts, each of the test scripts are taking 5 minutes. So that is going to takes you the very long time to execute all the 50 test scripts. If you have set up with the parallel testing concept, it will take very less time. So if you look at here, 10 test methods got passed. If you look at the module 1, all the test methods got passed here. So this is a particular module 1 test scripts got executed with respect to the level of parallelism as a 4. So what I will do is now I'll make it as a 10. So this particular module 1 will be executed at the same time, all the test methods, because here I'm specifying level of parallelism as a 10. So it will launches me the all the 10 browsers, all the 10 test methods will be executing at the same time. So let us execute the same command, because if process is still alive, just kill those processes by entering this particular TaskKill /f /im, then followed by the Chrome driver.exe. Say for example, if you are working with respect to the Chrome IE browser or Firefox browser, just you need to change this particular driver.exe name. That's all. Okay, let us clean it and we'll run the module 1 Selenium C# NUnit automation scripts. So this time it is going to launch you the all the 10 browsers at the same time, because we have mentioned level of parallelism as a 10. So let us rebuild solution. Okay, so if you look at here, level of parallelism is 10. So it is going to launch you the 10 browsers at a time. In this particular solution we have total 13 test methods. So I will run this all the test methods under the module 1. Right click on that particular module 1 and select run selected test. So if you observe here in the taskbar, it has launched all the this 10 browsers at the same time. These are the next set of 4 browsers. If you go forward, backward, here 4 browsers are there and here 4 browsers are there. I think another 2 browsers are got, I mean the test methods got maybe passed. That's the reason it is not showing over there. I highly recommend you to implement this particular concept in your automation framework, so that will be helping you a lot in smoke testing and executing your Selenium C# NUnit automation scripts. So if you look at here, 2 test methods got failed, invalid operation or something it is saying. So that's fine. This is how you can do parallel testing. In the same way, you can, what you can do is under the utilities folder you can create with respect to the browser. Say for example, I have created this method for the Chrome browser. In the same way, you can copy it and paste it, and you can create the utility method for the Internet Explorer browser, and you can call it that method in the test methods wherever you are required, wherever a specific test you want to execute in different browsers like Firefox browser, Safari browsers, IE browsers, like that. So this is how you can do parallel testing. So next we'll discuss what is order attribute and ignore attribute. So let me create one simple class for that. Just I'll copy this particular test class and I'll paste it in the project. I'll rename this particular class with the order skip attribute. That's it. Just I'm copying the class name. Here I'm deleting all the methods here. I'll delete this particular class also, which is inherited, and I'll rename the class name with the order attribute, OrderSkip attribute. So before that, we'll discuss one more thing, that is with respect to the Internet Explorer browser and the Firefox browser. Let us add one or two more DLLs to this project, that is a Firefox browser and the Internet Explorer browser, and we'll discuss how to execute your Selenium C# script in Internet Explorer browser and Firefox browser. What you need to do is you need to add the DLL for this project. Right click on the references, go to the manage NuGet packages. Here you just go click on the browse tab here, make sure that you are in a browse tab and enter this particular. Here I'm installing the Firefox browser with the version of 0.21.0. So just I'll click on the install. Just say yes to all, so it will impact over the project. That's it, it is finished. In the same way, I will add Internet Explorer browser object, I mean the DLL, with the version of 3.11.0. Just say click install, and here just say yes to all. Now it is finished. That's it. So now we will be discussing what is that order attribute and the skip attribute. What I will do is I'll delete this particular. So let me mention the group name as order attribute. So it will be very easy to execute because that particular group will be listed here, so you can execute that particular test very easily. So here I'm mentioning the group name as order attribute, order and skip attribute. That's it. So in the test method 1, just I'll rename with the test method 1. So this particular test method 1 will be I'm creating the browser object of Chrome driver, and I'll assign that to the WebDriver. That's it. By using this object, we are going to identify that particular element. Before that, we need to launch the web browser, and after launching the web browser, we need to enter that particular URL. That's all. I will copy this particular URL, facebook.com. So that's it. Then we need to close the driver. So this particular test method, what it will does is it opens the Chrome browser and it will enter this particular URL, and it is going to enter this particular value into this particular email text field. So if you are not familiar with how to write XPath and all, what you do is I highly recommend you to go through with those tutorials. Go to the YouTube and just search Selenium quick tutorial by Bakkappa, and if you hit the search box icon, then you will be seeing the one playlist. So if you click on this particular Selenium quick video tutorials, here you will be seeing all the videos. First videos are Java basics, then I have covered all the Selenium with Java. So if you go to the video number 19, here you can see how dynamic in Selenium in multiple ways. And in this particular tutorial, I have spoken about how to write a dynamic XPath in multiple ways. In the same way, we have one more tutorial called 20th. In that, I have discussed how to write woven CSS selectors. That's it. Then we are closing the web browser here. So we have added Firefox browser and IE browser. So in the same way, what I will do is I'll copy this particular test and I'll paste it. Only the object I will change. Before that, I'll change the method name as test method 2 and test method 3. So whenever you are for the Chrome browser, you are creating the object of Chrome driver. In case of Firefox browser, you need to create the object of Firefox driver. That's it. Just import the related packages. Click on this Firefox driver. Just press Ctrl dot. Just select the first statement. That's it. So this particular test method, it will run on Firefox browser. Then test method 3, we want to run it in IE browser. So here I'll create the object of InternetExplorer driver. That's it. Just press Ctrl dot. You can select here that comes, this particular Internet Explorer driver comes from the openqa.selenium.ie. That's it. So before that, what I will do is I will close all the instances of the Chrome browser. So this is not required when if you are using driver.quit, that time no process will be in running state. So if you are using driver.close, that time only some couple of processes will be in still running state. That's it. So let us build this particular solution. Before that, we will clean the solution. So if you are cleaning that particular solution, to make sure that if any conflicts are there, it is going to delete it. And when you do rebuild the solution, it is going to reload all the files in the same solution. So still we have a level of parallelism as 10. This I will make it to the, just I'll comment this particular line so that no tests will be run in parallel. So let me go to the order and skip attribute class. We have specified group as a order skip attribute. If you go to this particular group, here you are seeing test method 1, test method 2 and test method 3. If I try to run test method 3, it should execute this particular script in Internet Explorer browser. Right click on the particular test method 3 and run selected test. So this is the way you can run your Selenium C# NUnit automation script in different browsers like IE browser. This is IE browser, and you can run same in Firefox browser as well. Now till now we have discussed how to run your Selenium C# NUnit automation script in Chrome browser, Firefox browser and Internet Explorer browser. Now we will discuss what is this order attribute. Then we will discuss what is that skip attribute. So what you need to mention is, in the same way, similar to the test, we have one more attribute called order. In that you need to specify the, if you look at here order, it takes the integer as a argument. So you need to specify the integer number, that is this is a priority you are giving to that particular test method to run. So I want to run this particular Chrome browser not first. I'll mention we have total 3 methods. So I want to run this particular test method in at last. I means always order, it will start from the 0th. So if you mention 0, it will execute that method as a first, and if you mention 1, that method will be going to execute it as a second one. So we have total 3 methods. I will specify it as a 2. So this particular test will be executed after executing these 2 test methods. That's it. So I'll give the priority for this particular Firefox browser test method 2 is, I'll specify the order as 1, and in the same way I'll specify the order for the test method 3 as a 0. Sorry for the background noise guys. 0. So in my case, if I have mentioned test method 3 as a 0, so that's the reason it is this particular method will be executing first. So our test script will be executing on Internet Explorer first. Then we have mentioned order as 1. Then second test script will be executing it as a Firefox browser. Then third test script will be executing it as a Chrome browser. So that's the reason it takes the order which you have mentioned. It starts from the 0th. Whichever the test script you have mentioned it as 0, that particular test method will be executed as a first time. That's it. So let us clean this particular solution. Then we'll rebuild the solution. That's it. Here I'm going to this particular mod category which we have specified for this particular all the OrderSkip attribute class. Under that we have total 3 test methods. Right click on that, just say run selected test. So I have not enabled the parallel testing in this case. So if you look at here, first test method is got executed, then test method 3 is got executed, then test method 3 is running still. Okay, let me disable still that particular statement from the assembly info.cs because of this reason multiple tests are launching at the same time. Let me terminate those processes by entering this particular command TaskKill /f/m chromedriver.exe. So let us rebuild the same solution. I have commented both the lines, parallelizable and level of parallelism command. Now I will rebuild the solution. That's it. Now I will try to run this particular all the test cases which are belong to the OrderSkip attribute. So if you look at here, first Internet Explorer browser is running now. Then second, it is launching me the Firefox browser. Then finally it will launch us as the Chrome browser and it will execute all the validations which you have written. So that's what we have specified in the OrderSkip class. First we need to run Internet Explorer test script and then Firefox script, and finally it has to be run on Chrome browser. That's it. That is all for the order attribute. Skip attribute, it is very simple. Say for example we have total 3 test script. Say for example I don't want to run this particular test script on Chrome browser, I mean the test method 1. What you need to do is you need to specify in the very first line of the test method assert dot ignore. Then you can mention the reason why you don't want to execute this particular test method. You can mention the defect ID or something like that. What I will do is I'll write defect. So this means we have one defect that is in still open status. That's the reason this particular test method I'm not going to execute. So if I select this particular group and if I say run selected test, only 2 test methods should be getting executed this time because I have ignored one test method. So first Internet Explorer test script, it is working fine. Now the Firefox test script is getting executed. That is it. If you look at on the left side, which is category, test method 2 and test method 3 is got executed. If you look at here, test method 2 and test method 3 is got executed. Test method 1 is not got executed because it is showing you the in the summary. If you look at here, 1 test skipped, 2 tests got passed. So this particular line will be disabling from the execution from that particular test suite. If you click on this particular test method 1, it will show that message, whatever the message exists, what you are specified under the ignore attribute. I think that's all for this video tutorial. I have covered almost all the topics which I have mentioned in this tutorial. So we have discussed how to execute Selenium C# NUnit automation script in parallel. Then we have discussed order attribute and we have discussed ignore attribute. So in the previous Selenium C# NUnit tutorial we have discussed till category attribute. In this video tutorial we have discussed parallelizable, order attribute and ignore attribute. And rest of the NUnit attributes will be discussed in the upcoming tutorials. If you have any questions, you can comment in the comment section. Otherwise, you can drop me an email to my Gmail ID. Please stay tuned for the next Selenium C# NUnit tutorial. If you want to get more updates from this particular channel, click on subscribe button. If you like this video, please click on like and share this Selenium tutorial with your friends. Thank you so much for watching.